Greetings, adventurers. Are you ready to thwart the Malagaunt in his latest scheme? Are you prepared to face off against the terrifying Corruptor? I'm Ben, we're Battle Systems, and today I'm going to walk you through the Oblivions Maw, an expansion for Maladum Dungeons of Emverum. Oblivions Maw is a narrative expansion, so it comes with a new set of quests. It has new event cards, it has new reference cards, it's got a new set of miniatures, it's got a whole set of new and unique tokens. So it's going to have a whole lot of stuff which you're going to use as part of the campaign itself, but also it's a whole bunch of things that you can introduce into your other games of Maladum wherever you feel like it. So you could bring the Corruptor along into a normal quest, and in fact, once you start running this, that may actually just happen anyway. So a whole bunch of things to get into. Let's unpack them and see what they're like. Okay, so let's take a look inside this box. It's always very satisfying taking the lids off these. Okay, here we have the rule book and the campaign that goes with this expansion. We have the tokens and the character boards. We've got some new terrain that goes with this particular campaign and you can use in other games as well. Inside here, we've got a bunch of reference cards. We have some new event cards. Special dice that we use just for this expansion for use with these miniatures. We have the Corruptor and its tentacles. These tentacles are either attached to it or they're used separately depending on what phase of the game you're in. And then we have some new wandering beasts in here. Okay, so let's unpack all of that and have a closer look at it all. Oblivions Maw comes with a new set of miniatures. They're all of the same quality as the main game, so lots of lovely detail and they paint up really beautifully. First of all, we have these little cursed vestiges which arrive in packs and will cause you all sorts of problems. Not too hard to deal with though. We have a cursed portal, which is a door which has been infected by the energy from the dark dimension that the Corruptor comes from. And the same here with this cursed chest. And then, of course, the star of this set is the Corruptor itself. It's a really detailed model with lots of nice things to get stuck into. These tentacles come off so that they can be deployed separately as you need them to be. They are all labelled with a number and its related number underneath, so you know which one goes into which hold. And there he is. He's quite a beast and he will wreck your day when he turns up. The great thing about these models is that not only can you use them in this expansion, but you can also then start putting them into your other games of Maladum. And of course, they are also brilliant if you're a dungeon master or a game master who runs other fantasy role-playing games. These models are just perfect. I mean, how often do you need a model like this? This expansion comes with a set of new cards. First of all, we have the campaign log, which is similar to the one that is found in the Dungeons of Emverum campaign or other expansions. And this is where you keep track of how you're doing in your wider quest. There's a handy reference card here for the Corruptor and how it works. We've got 15 new event cards that bring into play all sorts of different new elements, such as the cursed chest, or maybe a tentacle from the Corruptor will turn up. We also have a new side quest and hidden location card. If you're familiar with Island Adventure, these are a mechanic which allows you to meet someone or encounter a quest giver somehow, which will give you an extra objective to achieve. This one's quite interesting because it's going to affect all of your games going forward as soon as you pick it up. And it's all about trying to control the extra energies that are flowing around because of the Corruptor's presence. It's going to bring in otherworldly creatures that you're going to have to fend off, and you're going to have to also deactivate it by interacting with arcane pillars or with portals, so you can keep those energies in check and get on with the rest of your quest. We also have a new hidden location, which is the Mysterious Gateway, and this manifests as a portal which will appear on the map, and if any of your adventurers go through it, they will gain an experience point, presumably because they've seen the time knife or something. We have 2 new sets of terrain with this, for 4 sheets in total. You have some new elements coming into your gameplay through multi-level play with these platforms. You also have elements like secret doors, which we have rules for in the book, and we have plinths and pillars that you interact with as part of quests. This book, as well as having the rules in, has the campaign, and this, like in the main game, is a branching campaign where which quest you go on will depend on what happened in previous quests. There are 6 in total, so you might not see all of them on your first playthrough, so you'll get a different experience if you approach it another time. It's set up in the freezing north in Hiberia. The quest focuses on the actions of the Malagaunt again, and this time he is focusing his energy on bringing in extra power from otherworldly dimensions. Your job as a party is to stop him getting his hands on a set of talismans that are going to allow him to control this. What's interesting about this campaign is that once it kicks off, when you go and play quests in other parts of Envron, the effects of it are still going to be felt because the actions of the Malagaunt have meant that the doorways between dimensions have been weakened, so some of these otherworldly creatures are going to start turning up in your other quests as well. All the more reason to get stuck in and sort him out before it's too late. As you can see, this incorporates some of the new terrain elements, and it's going to change up the way you play completely because you can have these multiple levels, you're going to have new ways you can interact with the terrain, and it's going to bring you new challenges and exciting new things to overcome, which is going to really change up the way you play your games. There are also new rules in there to deal with this multi-level terrain, so this rope, for example, may be quite helpful with that. You also have Eldritch Talismans, which will do things like give you a boost to your warded status or help you maintain otherworldly summoned creatures more easily. You'll also have things like hazardous items which you use and then they hurt you if you're unlucky. The expansion comes with a whole range of new mechanics which are really interesting.
For example, you'll have these portals which will come into play, and also these talismans that you're going to have to collect as part of the campaign itself.
You also have new wandering beasts you're going to be facing off against, and the Corruptor itself is a really interesting opponent. It's nothing you will have faced in the game so far. Sometimes you'll be facing it with just its tentacles have appeared, other times the whole thing will come, and when you're up against it, you are really going to have to be prepared and ready because it hits hard, and you're going to have to take away all the tentacles before you can even get to the main body, and those will sometimes regenerate as well. So it's no mean feat to take this thing on. And of course, you're also going to be facing up against a bunch of other adversaries at the same time. You also want to be very careful when you stood next to it, because not only is it throwing a lot of dice at you, if you're stunned or defeated, it will eat you whole. And then that is the end of it for that character, forever, the end. So before you go in here, make sure you're ready, make sure you're prepared for what you're going to be facing. But it should make it very exciting, very interesting, and very challenging. Now's a good time to talk about the dice that come with this set. These ones are used whenever you're using the tentacles or the corruptor. You have 2, you have a maw die and you have a tentacle die. The tentacle die applies status effects such as bludgeoning or sharp, and it can also entangle your characters, it can poison them, it can plunder things off of their character board, so that makes things unpredictable and interesting. And then you have the maw die, which is either going to do normal critical hits and standard hits, but also has more interesting things like summoning creatures from other dimensions to fight against you. It can regrow tentacles that you've already lopped off. So these really change up the way that the game plays, and combine that with some of the other elements, and you've got a really interesting new set of mechanics that are all interacting with each other. One of the most fun things about an expansion like this is the new toys that you get to play with. So you're glad to know there's a whole set of new tokens that are unique to this. And in amongst here we have 2 new relics and the components that you need to start making them, a bunch of new crafting materials, some of which will be needed to create those new relics. We also have some really interesting other craftable things such as this, the Astral Arbiter, which is a terrific axe which also comes with magical spells that you can cast through it. That's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. And you've even got some footwear which will help you jump further and higher, which will be very useful moving around these new multi-level arenas. We have the Abyssal Trophy, which makes you terrifying to otherworldly creatures and makes you more dangerous to them. So that'll be very useful if you're ever up against things like that. And that's Oblivions Maw. As you can see, lots of new content, lots of exciting new ways to play, and I hope that's given you a taste which makes you excited to get stuck into it. Until then, make sure you double check that chests and doors are really what they appear to be, and happy gaming.